Hi, this is a continuation of my previous video. There, I was talking about the different types of interview, right? So, I was talking about the phone interview. That is a fourth type of interview. The phone interview is like, as I said, the interview scheduling about the appointment of your interview scheduling should be like whenever you're free or like whenever you're like able to take up the interview. In that time, you have to take up the interview talking to the recruiter or the person who's fixing you an appointment with the HR or it will be the manager, whomever it is. So when you're talking, when you're able to take up this interview, that time only you have to confirming with the recruiter that you will be able to take up the interview. So here, what I'm trying to tell is when you're able to take up the interview in the time of interview, be prepared. When you know that telephonic interview is going to happen, be prepared for it. Like what are the expected questions that the interviewer will be asking you, like the common questions, like it'll be like tell me about yourself, about if you're a fresher they'll be asking about your educational qualification, which board you were into, which university you studied, and your course, your specialization, what were your specialization. These all are the things they'll be asking about your educational background. And if you're an experienced person, you have to tell about your previous experience, where you were working, in which industry you were working, which company, or like what exactly your work was, your designation, what were you into, what work you were into. Like these are the things they'll be asking in the time of phone interview. So when you're answering on phone, your voice should speak out. When the question is asked to you, let us take the interview is asking you about yourself. You must be able to answer you must be confident enough. You must know like what are the steps you need to answer. Like if you're a fresher, you have to go accordingly to your qualification, like educational qualification, your degree, your PUC, and your schooling. And when it comes your achievements in the management, that is like when you were studying in the degree. So that achievement you can mention in the time of for telephonic interview, and they're asking a common question that is like tell me about yourself. And when it comes to experienced person, as I told you before only, you have to answer about your previous experience, like whichever you were handling. Let it be like sales job. If you're handling a sales job, if you're assistant manager in a company, you were handling a liability products, you have to explain about the liability products, how you were working there, how you were selling the liability products to the customers, how much you were able to you were aware of the liability products, how much you know about the liability products exactly, how you were working on it. So these are the things they'll be asking in the time of interview. And when the interview is happening, that time the telephonic interview, when it happens, that time you have to choose a place where there is a proper network and where there is no distractions that may occur like disturbance to your telephonic interview. So wherever the place is very peaceful to you, like to interact with the interviewer, you have to choose that place and start uh, giving your interview to the interviewer. Okay, this is a basic thing that you have to follow in the telephonic interview. So these are the steps or the techniques that or the tips that I'm giving to you. Like choose a place where the proper network will be there, and a piece of place where you can talk to the interviewer comfortably. So this is the main thing that you have to see in the time of telephonic interview. And when it comes to when you're answering, suddenly if your phone rings or somebody is coming and disturbing you, if you're sitting in, if you're taking up the interview in your house, if there's some person or your family members, if somebody comes and knocking the door, this and all should not happen in the time of telephonic interview. So make sure that you're in a peaceful place, that no disturbance has to occur when you're taking up the interview. So um, choose a place where you can make it a peaceful place where you can feel comfortable to sit and talk to the interviewer, you can interact with the interviewer. So choose a place and go to the place and take up the interview. The questions will be asked like the very common questions, whichever is relevant to the position or the relevant to the job you're looking for or the job you have applied for it. So these are the common questions will be asked in the time of phone telephonic interview. So you must be able to answer for it. So if it is suddenly, if you're not prepared for it also, if you're a fresher, just answer calmly, confidently that like your previous educational thing only. Basically, they'll be asking if you're a fresher, and experience in the sense they'll be asking about your previous experience, what on what you were working, which industry. These kind of questions only normally they'll be used to ask in the time of telephonic interview. So this is how you have to take up the telephonic interview. So the next thing that we will be seeing is a situational interview. Situational interview is mainly conducted for the senior positions, like in an organization. If there is a senior person who will be looking for a change in the organization and coming for a different company to take up the interview. So this time, what you have to see is the previous experience, whatever you got. If you got a previous experience, you must know what exactly it is. So if you must having the backup, like if you have some achievements in your previous organization, you must be having the proof of it, so that if the person or the interviewer, if he's not believing that you were able to you were like achieving these kind of achievements in your organization, you can show the proof to the interviewer. Like these are the things that you have been achieved in the time of your previous experience or the current experience that you're working in any organization. Okay, so the situational interview. How situational interview works is like, if you're a senior person, the situation will be given to you in the time of interview. The interviewer will be giving you a situation where you have to solve the problem. The problem will be given to you. So you have to find out the solution, like how you will find out the solution. First, you have to think I'll just tell you like how to handle this question, or how to handle this round of interview. So what you have to do is when the problem is given to you, you have to know where it went wrong. If this problem is occurring in this place, what is the reason for like it's going wrong. So you must know where it went wrong and what are the reasons for it, and you must know how to tackle them, how to solve it from the a problem which has been occurred in the organization. So just analyze the problem first. Analyze the problem and try to find out what where went wrong and who were the reason for it, what were the reason for it. Okay, when you try to know what were the reason for it, you come up with a solution that this went wrong, so this is where we have to improve in it and make a solution on it. This is how the situation happened. The situation will be given to you. You have to solve the problem based on the problem where it had been occurred, what went wrong. These and all you have to gather up the information, like analyze the problem, plan it accordingly, and then solve the problem based on the problem which has been occurred in the organization. Or let us take in the HR department, if some problem has occurred in the organization, the people who have been facing that problem will be like, they will be telling to the HR people, that the HR manager and the HR person. So the HR will be like, first analyze the problem. What exactly has been happened in this place, where it went wrong? What is the reason for it? When they come to know what is the reason for it, automatically we will find whatever, let it be the personal life also, let it be the professional life also. Automatically we will try to find the solution on it, right? So that is what the interviewer will look at you, like how much you're capable of handling a situation in this organization, or how you will be able to handle the situation when the problem is given to you. So this is how the interviewer sees when you're answering to this question. So be like confident enough, or like be carefully answering to the question whichever is asked by the interviewer. So prepare for yourself. If whatever question is asked to you, or like whatever the situation is given to you, be able to like first outline it, as I said you in the previous video also. Outline it and make sure that this is a valid point that you're going to tell to the interviewer. Okay, this is how the situation round happens. And the problem solving skills, if you're a senior person, it is very much important to know how the problem should be get solved, and how you have to tackle this kind of situations that should not be happen in the future stages also. So this is how the interviewer will test you, like they will question you according to that. They'll question you according to that. The situation also will be given to you according to that. Based on that, you have to analyze the problem and answer to the question which is being asked by the interviewer. Okay, and the next round, that will be like the next type of interview that will be conducted in the company will be like, as you all know, when the interviewer when the interview word comes, or when I say, the one thing that will strike on your mind is like the face-to-face interview, that is like one-on-one interview, where you will be communicating with the interviewer about the job or about your um, uh, qualification, these kind of things. So one-on-one interview is like something you'll be interacting with the interviewer, where the question will be asked by the interviewer. Okay, so in this kind of or in this type of interview, where the interview will be happening, so that time you have to research about the organization where you're going for the interview. So if you're I mean, like if you're browsing about the company, you must know about the company, what are they into, which industry they are into, how many employees are working, which are the locations they are working into, where is the company headquartered. These are the things you have to browse it, and when interviewer asks based on that, you have to answer to the question. In one-on-one face-to-face interview, as I said you in the telephonic interview, what is the common questions will be the same common questions will be in one-on-one face-to-face interview also. Okay, the face-to-face interview, if it is conducted for the freshers, the very common questions like tell me about yourself, like what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, tell me or take me to your profile, or like your educational background, your soft skills that you have been learned or gained knowledge in your management. These are the questions commonly will be asked in the time of face-to-face interview. So you must be able to answer. So if you know that you're going for an interview, you know, right? You're going for an interview, so you can prepare accordingly. So what are the common questions that will be asked in the time of interview if you're a fresher? So as I told you, if you're an experienced person, and like you don't know how who's the interviewer, how he is going to like take an interview, or how it is going to happen. So even if you're experienced also, if you're looking for a change, you have to prepare for an interview. Without preparing for an interview, you can't directly go walk in and go sit and give your interview and come. No, it's not like that. When you're preparing yourself and you're working on it, we can see like your work on it, like your improvement, what you're giving in the time of interview. So these are the things that you have to see like before attending the face-to-face interview. Get prepared yourself. Be prepared yourself for the face-to-face interview. Okay, these are the things that you have to see. So as I said, you research about the organization. When the interviewer asks you about like what do you know about the company, you must be able to answer what the organization into, what the industry into, what exactly the work is going on over there. These are all questions you must be able to answer. So prepare to answer the common questions, as I said you. So common questions will be asked like, tell me about yourself. These kind of questions will be asked in the time of face-to-face interview. And also, when it comes to like when you're done with all the questions which has been asked by the interviewer, at the end, the interviewer will ask the question like, do you have any questions for me? In that time, you have to not tell like I don't have any questions for you. You should not tell like that. When you ask the interviewer, like see everyone, even me, if I'm attending an interview, and at the end of the interview I'll be having the doubt, right, whether I got selected or no, did I do my interview well or no. If you know that you're going to get selected, what work I'm going to do in the further stages, these questions and all will be arising in our mind, right? So when you have these types of questions, don't stop it over there. Go ahead and ask the interviewer. Like you can ask about the organization. If you don't know about the organization, you can ask what your organization into, what industry they are into. You can ask about the employees also, and you can ask about your job description, what you're going to work, what exactly is your work you're going to do in the organization, and which team you're going to be in. These all questions you can ask the interviewer, that will change you, like it will give you a good impression that they will think you're completely interested in this job. That makes the interviewer to think that you're completely interested in this job, and you're putting an effort to know that what the organization into. So these are the things you have to keep it in mind when you're attending the one-on-one, that is a face-to-face round in the organization. So okay, so the first thing will be like you have to get prepared for an interview before. Okay, you have to get prepared for an interview for the common questions. If it is a face-to-face question, it will be common questions only. Like if you're a fresher, the common questions about your educational background, your personal details. And if you're an experienced person, the same thing goes with you, like your previous experience and little about yourself, about your personal experience. So these are the things they'll be asking in your one-on-one face-to-face interview round. Okay, so you must be prepared accordingly. And The next thing will be like behavioral interview. Behavioral interview is like the interview which is conducted to check you like your present behavior in the interview and your past. Okay, if you're an experienced person, they will check your like how you performed in your previous organization, or how you were working in your previous organization. What was your job role? What was your achievements? Why did you leave the job? Okay, these are the questions which will be like arising in the time of behavioral interview. They will completely check your behavior, how you interact with the candidate. I'm sorry, how you interact with the interviewer. So these are the things that will be checked or noticed, or it will be like observed in the time of behavioral interview. So they check with your past experience, I mean like past experience, or the past interviewer, and the present interview that you're going to give it to the interviewer. So they check with all these criteria that if you're suiting accordingly, they're obviously going to select you. See, if you're a fresher and you're attending this kind of interview, it will be like based upon your educational background only. It comes like which university you were into, like what exactly you were studying, which specialization you were studying. So these are the things they will ask you in this time of interview. And the logic of asking is this, like to check your behavior, how you react to the questions asked by the interviewer or the situation. As I said, you situation and behavioral interview is one and the same, where you will be having the slight changes. So here also you'll be given us like a situation where you must be like able to perform the problem solving skills. You must be having that skill to handle the situation whichever is given to you. When you're completely able to pick up the situation and you able to analyze the problems whichever is assigned to you, is well and good to go to the further stages, that you will be selected to the next round, where you can implement your new ideas into, like, see, if the problem is given to you, there is like the another criteria of observation, that is like how you tackle it. Not only the finding the solution is important, how you finding the solution. What are the like what are the things you're including in, what are the new things that you're implementing into your problem solving skills, what are the new ideas you're implementing into your problem solving skills. These are the things they'll be seeing in the time of behavioral interview. Not only finding the answers or not only finding the solutions, they also see like how you find the solution, which way you use the tricks to find the solution. So these are the things they'll be seeing you, how you're open minded, how you're newly like inventing the new ideas. If any problem occurs in the organization, for an example, they come to the HR. Like if any repairs are happened in the organization, they come up asking the HR, like these are the things HR admin, they will ask the HR admin, right? So these are the things the problem is happening over here, so you can solve it. So HR is ready to solve it. How? They have to make the plan. They have to analyze it first. What are the problem occurred, and then they will after analyzing they'll plan accordingly. So what I should do in this problem, what I should do like to solve this problem. So these are the things that will be seen in the time of situational and behavioral interview. Situation is nothing but finding a solution. Finding the solution is like, as I said you, what went wrong and how you're going to find the solution. And in the behavioral interview, how typically this question is asked to, like, to check how different are you from the crowd. Standing out from the crowd is not an easy task for anyone, right? So to check how different are you from other people, so they'll just conduct this interview because of that reason. And as I said you, the problem solving skills is not that easy part. So it conducted basically for the senior person who has been like already has experience in these kind of things. And if the achievements you have been achieved in the previous organization, keep a backup in the sense where you can keep the proof of it. So if you have achieved in this kind of situation, or this the particular situation, keep a backup that is a proof of it, so that you can show it to the new organization where you're like looking for a change, or like looking for a career growth in the other organization. So you have to prove yourself, right? Like how you have been tackled that situation. So that achievement you have to keep it a backup where you will be like making others to not others, the other company to prove that you have been like very good, very perfectly you have been handled that situation, where you will be like further handling the same situation or the any situation that has been occurred in the organization. You'll be able to perform it, or like you'll be able to tackle the situation that has been like happened in the organization. So these are the things they will be seeing in the time of behavioral interview. So your behavior of the interview is very much important when you're attending the interview. The way of you talking, the way you present yourself, the way you like talk to the interviewer, the way you answer. So these and all will be seen by the interviewer. Okay, so this is the last step that I was telling to you. So these are the steps or types that will be conducted mostly in the organization or mostly in the MNC companies. So follow this tips that whatever I have been given to you, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you, everybody. Bye. That's it. 20 minutes over.